Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Mike Rush. Governor Greg Abbott is announcing new efforts to combat drug overdoses in Texas. He is vowing to support a law that would charge dealers with murder who spread drugs containing deadly opioids when their product poisons people. The governor spoke to more than 300 people outside of Houston today at an annual Montgomery County overdose awareness event. Last year, Abbott signed a law increasing criminal penalties for making or distributing fentanyl. And now he's announcing new efforts to fight drug overdoses by expanding access to the overdose treatment Narcan. KXAN investigators first told you in the spring about the state scrambling to find more doses of Narcan. As Arzo Dost explains, the supply is back through the state program, but with some changes.
It's kind of crazy that, the first one in Texas is on the side of a church. I think that's kind of funny because, a lot of people are still it's still a stigmatized thing.
The city's first Narcan vending machine sits outside Sunrise Community Church and Sunrise Homeless Navigation Center in South Austin. 24/7 access to the overdose reversal medication for free.
It's something that is a huge thing for us to be able to have. It's obviously expensive. It's obviously has been difficult to get up until now.
For months, naloxone, also known by the brand name Narcan, was hard to get through a state program because of high demand and low supply. But just a few weeks ago, the More Narcan Please program, operated by the UT Health San Antonio School of Nursing, had an update saying it's now accepting requests for more Narcan.
It needs to be available to everybody, grandmothers, whatever. But, the reality is that's not what we're having in the state of Texas now. So it's limited.
There are some changes this year. The program says online it wants to ensure that the life-saving medication will go to those most likely to witness and respond to an overdose. Also, organizations can request a maximum of 48 units, and once those have been distributed, other orders can be placed. And beyond the nasal spray form, organizations can now also get intramuscular naloxone, which is given using a syringe.
Are you afraid that the state is going to run out again?
Well, yeah, I am. I'm terrified.
Charles Thibodeau is with the Texas Overdose Naloxone Initiative and provides Narcan training. He says he was able to request more doses just this week.
I mean, to sit back to be a harm reductionist, knowing that the rates of overdose are skyrocketing, and then to have run out of Narcan is just, it's unheard of.
Texas Health and Human Services Commission, which oversees the federal funding for the distribution program, says more than 10,000 units, which includes 2 doses of nasal naloxone, were purchased through the end of this month. The program will receive a renewed contract for more than $5.5 million in September to continue distributing Narcan.
We are stocked until we run out. Right now, we are stocked probably for a couple more weeks.
Sunrise Homeless Navigation Center says because it provides services to hundreds of people every day, this was the ideal spot for the vending machine. It's now exploring other locations. Arzo Dost, KXAN investigates.
And the vending machine was in partnership with the NICE project, which stands for Narcan in Case of Emergency. It's located at 4430 Menchaca Road in South Austin. Funding came from a micro grant from Austin Mutual Aid. To learn more, head to KXAN.com and click on this story in the investigative section. In the last several months, Travis County and Austin City Council have declared a public health crisis around opioid overdoses. The Travis County Medical Examiner's Office annual report found that 308 people died from accidental drug overdoses last year, up by more than 60 deaths from 2020. Fentanyl-related deaths were up 237% to 118 last year, more than triple from 2020. Just last week, Hayes CISD and Kyle police say 3 high school students died from suspected fentanyl overdoses in the last month. The district says in some cases people don't know that they're taking fentanyl because dealers are selling it as Xanax or other drugs. The district has been working with the police to alert parents about the dangers of fentanyl. Hayes CISD says it has a supply of Narcan to treat overdoses. It's on campuses ready to be administered by a school nurse or a student resource officer in the event of an emergency. The district says it'll roll out a public service announcement on the dangers of fentanyl in the next 2 weeks or so.
First warning weather with meteorologist Nick Bannon.
Much less activity on the radar here today, but we did still have a few spotty showers during the late afternoon and early evening. In some places, they actually amounted to measurable rain, almost ½ an inch there in portions of Blanco. Even at the Austin Bergstrom International Airport, we picked up 0.04 of an inch of rain here today. Most areas were pretty low, although almost 1/4 of an inch there in northern sections of Llano County. Right now, temperatures are generally in the mid-80s, not a ton of temperature variety out there now, and we'll head down to 77. Next few hours should be dry, but we're going to keep the 10% overnight rain chance in because I think there may be a couple of spotty showers that try to develop near sunrise. Here's what's coming up in first warning weather. We'll track on and off rain for an entire week. That'll help us avoid triple digits, but